What's up, guys? Alex here with my first YouTube video. Thank you for coming across my video here on the internet. I want to start putting my thoughts on video. Something I haven't done in the past, and I feel like now is the time to do it because I've been told by quite a few people that my story is quite interesting. A lot of extremes on both ends. Extremely cool, good, extremely crazy, and bad. So, where this YouTube channel goes, I'm not sure. I'm just going to start pouring my thoughts out there into the universe and see what happens. And I would like your feedback along the way. So, anything you guys find interesting or helpful, comment below. Anything you don't like, comment below as well. And let's see what you got. So, what's the first video going to be about? I felt like this was interesting. Now, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm an author. However, this video is specifically not going to be for just entrepreneurs only. This is going to be for anybody. And this video in particular is about overcoming adversity. Okay. I'm going to share with you guys a couple of quick tidbits of the ups and downs. Okay. Let's go backwards in time. 9 years old, my dad gets locked up on felony charges of kidnapping a mafia guy. I'm on the couch with my mom in Hampshire, Illinois, a small little farm town, and we turned on the news, 10 o'clock news before bedtime, and I see my dad in handcuffs being walked out with police officers. That was the start of the crazy life. Okay, 9 years old. Long story short, dad gets arrested. We find out 10 years in prison for kidnapping a mafia guy. Business deal gone bad, which makes sense because we didn't see our dad for months at a time. He just kind of vanished randomly. So that happens. Bouts of poverty, mental health issues, obesity, high blood pressure, living in motels as a kid, sharing the same bed in these motels with my mom and two brothers. Just different houses, losing houses. It was just nonstop from 9 years old up until like teenager, later in high school and early college. Anyways, made it through. My dad gets out of prison. We kicked him out for good. He was causing more problems when he got out. He became a wanderer after that, and he passed away a couple of years ago, actually. College rolls around. I have the entrepreneurial bug. Started a little lawn care business, mowing lawns. In high school, actually, is when I started. I had to throw a lawnmower in the back of my mom's car, and she would drive me around DeKalb County, Illinois, to go mow lawns and stuff. Started doing that. $20 here, $15 there, whatever. Made some money. College rolls around. I start experimenting more. My first internet startup. I started a college website and college chatting website where you could chat with kids from other majors and other universities. It was an interesting way, and you could also exchange and upload information and homework, which is where I got in trouble. Anyways, that gets on MTV, millions of viewers. I'm like, wow, this is it. This is going to be crazy. Site tanks. I get embarrassed on live TV from the founder of OkCupid. Sam Yegan was his name. And by the way, one of the best learning experiences of my life is when he trashed the website on TV because what he said was the truth. But at the time, I was mad. I was young, naive, and the site did suck. However, I learned a lot from that. I learned I was very good at marketing and making things happen with very little. Right now, I lost about $10,000 on the website. Bad developers, there was no game plan there. Scrap that. Move on. Out of boredom then and curiosity, I started a humor page, a social media page for fun. And I didn't tell anybody about it. It was just for private, just for me, just to laugh. I started a humor site like a year and a half, 2 years later. Had like 300,000 followers in a year on social media, millions of YouTube views. I'm like, okay, maybe I could sell this or something. I don't know. We'll see. I get contacted by the founder of World Star Hip Hop. His name was Q. He's like, hey man, I like your site. This is good stuff. What are you doing with it? What's the future like? And at the time, I don't know what I was thinking. I should have sold it to him when he was talking about it. I'm like, I'm not selling it now, but maybe in the future I'll think about it. He's like, okay, no problem. So I'm like, yeah, I want to sell this. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have sold him. Let me call him back. Call him back like a year or 2 years later. Didn't answer. And I was like, okay, that's surprising. He usually picks up when I would call. And I find out randomly on the internet he passed away. Gone like that. So that happens. Site then has some copyright issues. Site tanks. Lost all the followers, lost the YouTube channel, algorithm was crapped out. Okay. A couple other businesses along the way after that, those tanked as well. Window cleaning business, I think it was, vending machine business, those didn't do well. And then oddly enough, I fell into the junk removal business. Okay. I borrowed my grandpa's red Ford Explorer and this little junky trailer, wooden trailer I'd made, right? It was like $2,000. This little crappy trailer. I should have not been driving this thing on the road, man. Things were just flying out on the tollway. It was just so bad. But whatever. I'm like, let me just give it a shot, see what happens. I told my grandpa. He's like, okay, let's see what you can do with it, Alex. And I took it and then did a couple jobs here, made $100 there, $200 there. I'm like, okay, something, right? Then I got my first popper of a job. $6,000 to clean a farm property clean out. And for me, this is a ton of money. I was like, whoa, $6,000, this is crazy, right? I do that job, do a good job. I should have charged way more with what I know now, but you got to learn somewhere. With what I know now, I would have charged like 12 grand, but I learned. That was a lot of stuff. But anyways, fast forward, and then I bought a pickup truck, a nicer pickup truck. I fixed up the trailer. Then I got more jobs and kept advertising, learning marketing and SEO, Google AdWords. Started getting good at it. I'm like, okay. And then fast forward 8-9 years later, and then we're doing 300-400 houses a month across the state of Illinois. And then we got three Isuzu dump trucks. Now it's down to 2, and I'll tell you why. What happened? The other truck recently just got totaled by an employee recently on accident. So I'll get into that later. So anyways, we're going to talk about adversity, right? That's the main thing of this idea of this episode. So things are going good, right? Yeah, of course things are going good with the business. I moved to a tropical country to work remotely for a few years. I invested a lot of money in the crypto, actually 80% of my net worth all in the crypto. And everyone's like, Alex, what are you doing? You're crazy. Or what the hell is this crypto? So I'm like, I think this is going to go up. It did go up. And at the time, I think my total net worth was around a little north of 5 million. And everyone was shocked, including myself. I'm like I knew where it was going. I was reading patterns, and I'm like, this is going to go up, and it did. Now, I made some stupid decisions after I got to that point. I'm like, let me see if I can go for 10 or 15 now. And then I just kept moving the coins around. And then I didn't realize this Coinbase charged conversion fees, which I was unaware of. It took $500,000. And then the FTX thing happened, lost a lot of money. Russia-Ukraine war happens, recession happens, and crypto market goes totally nosedives. So I went from one extreme to losing almost 80% of my net worth, right? But this happened a couple times in my life. Made millions, lost it, made it back, lost it, made it back. Okay, so it goes back and forth. It's happened a couple times already at age 35. So it's a roller coaster of emotions, and it really wears on you. I don't wish that on anybody, by the way. It's a lot of mental stress. But anyways, that's all happening. I'm dealing with Lyme disease that I've had problems with the last 10 years. I found out after blowing $100 grand on doctors what this was. And at this point, I'm like, man, I'm going to lose all my money with issues I was having with my business. One employee recently wrecked a $100,000 truck, and then workers quitting because they couldn't use that truck anymore until a new truck came. And then another manager, my main manager, getting in a separate car accident with his girlfriend. He was out. Things were going south, right? Business was slow because of the recession. Definitely slower now than it was in the past. So I'm trying to run this remotely from a different country, and I'm like, okay, I got to cancel everything I'd set up, all the accountant stuff, everything like that, the base where I was at, where the new country I was at. I had to stop everything. So I'm like, I got to move back to the U.S. I come back. As I'm coming back to try to figure out the Lyme disease, that was causing severe brain fog, fatigue, neurological issues. And at the time I was coming back to the U.S. to figure out all the business problems and my investment issues, right? On top of that, I developed MRSA. Okay, very, very painful if you've had it before. My leg was killing me. I was having like weird, painful leg pains the whole entire, horrible, right? So I'm dealing with Lyme, right? Now, I will say this. I have gotten a lot better with my holistic health that I've been taking. My herbals that I'm taking, I'm doing much better. I can breathe again. I was having severe air hunger issues for a lot of years. The neurological issues were getting horrible. The brain fog was bad. I couldn't even walk out of the room sometimes. It was that bad and intense. Anyways, this is all happening now recently, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I've been through some crazy shitstorms before in my past, my youth, especially with my dad, losing houses as a kid, living here, living there, living in motels, being very, very poor, right? So I'm like, I've been here before. But then I was thinking to myself, I'm like, what makes people drop in times of pressure and what makes people thrive, right? So I'm going to tell you a couple of things real quick. And oh, by the way, to add to all this craziness, if you want to hear extremes, the coffee shop I was in the country I was living in, tropical country, right? Where I was working remotely the last few years, as I'm on my laptop trying to deal with the huge insurance increase, right, from like a couple thousand a year to over 17,000 a year because of the crash incident that happened, the truck, $100,000 truck getting ruined, manager getting in a separate car crash, employees quitting because of all this stuff happening, and right, it's just total chaos. And not including my health issues I was dealing with, the Lyme disease, the MRSA, and then just, even personal issues too, cutting out friendships I've had for 20 years. We'll talk about that more later on, maybe in another video or even at the end of this video. And then also too, as all this is happening, this is just to add the randomness of my life, right? And that's what this show's about, randomness of my life. I'm at a coffee shop and I see this beautiful girl next to me, and I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to her a little bit. So we start chatting as I'm on my laptop planning my comeback next month to come back to the US to get everything, my health stuff, my business stuff, investment stuff figured out. I talk to this girl, I'm like, here's my number, hit me up. And that's what I always did. I always, recently, the last like 5-10 years, when I was younger, I was a total simp, and I would always like, oh, here, can I get your number? I don't do that. Here's my number, you call me. So I gave her my number, we talked, we hit it off by texting, and I said, hey, you know what? I didn't tell her I was having a horrible day, but I was just stressed out to my eyeballs, just trying to figure out the next part of my life. I'm like, how does all this crazy stuff happening at once? So I tell her, I'm like, hey, I'd like for you to join me for dinner tonight if you have nothing going on. She's like, okay, no problem. She comes out and she meets me, and we're at the restaurant, and I was like, I don't even know if I want to be here. I'm so stressed out with what's going on in my life right now. I'm like, but I'm like, Alex, just enjoy it. Just block it out and just enjoy this moment. This girl's going to come meet you. She shows up on time, 6:30 at this restaurant. And all the waiters and waitresses start coming up to her and shaking her hand. So I'm like, okay, that's a little strange. Then another waitress comes up, takes a picture, tries to take I'm like, all right, I said, I got to ask you, I said, are you famous or something? How does everyone know you here? Did you used to work here? She started laughing. She's like, yeah, I'm kind of famous here. I'm like, all right, who are you? She tells me her name, first and last name. I'm like, okay. I still don't know who that is, but elaborate, who are you? And she starts laughing, and she's like, I'm the Miss Universe winner of this country I'm in. I was like, oh, she's joking. She's full of it. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. And I'm not saying that because she wasn't pretty. I just was like, I was shocked. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. I'm like, show me. So she shows me her Instagram, 125,000 followers. I'm like, wow. What a unique, crazy bunch of extremes in the last couple of days, right? That happening, and then all this other stuff in my life too. So seems to be the theme of my life, just total extremes. Sometimes I want some middle ground, that'd be nice, but I guess we'll go back with the extremes. Anyways, this happens. We went on 3-4 dates. Very nice girl. It fizzled out a little bit at the end. Unfortunately, I left the country where I was at before. She's there still, and I don't know what would have happened, but nonetheless, she was very nice. No hard feelings if we don't keep talking anymore. But the randomness of life, right? So that was a cool experience as all this crazy crap was happening, right? Talk about like all this range of emotions. All right, fast forward. So I'm back in the U.S. to try to get everything figured out, dealing with the MRSA, scheduling flights to go get my Lyme disease figured out, trying to figure out the insurance, trying to figure out the business, the new truck that was ruined. The insurance company wasn't giving us a check for the new truck. My manager that was in a car crash. Business was slow because workers quit and recession going on. Right? Extremes, total extremes. Trying to figure out the class action lawsuits I was doing. Trying to get my money back for the millions I lost, right? So, we're at this point now. And how do we overcome adversity? We're 15 minutes into this video, I see, so I want to try to explain in the next few minutes what I did, and hopefully it helps you out. That's what the page is. This is to help and this is to learn. And I hope I'm doing that. That's my goal. This is my first video. Comment below. That's what this is about. We're going to help each other here. I'm going to tell you all my crazy life stories. I'm going to put it out there. I want to hear your stories in the comments of how you overcame adversity. That's what this video is about. So, number one, I cannot stress this enough. Your friends, are they truly your friends? Okay? Your friends you have, let's say 5 friends. Your 5 top friends. Which ones are truly your friends? When you're doing really well in life, okay? Or when you're doing really bad in life. You really see your friends' true colors when you're in both extremes. When times are really, really good and when times are really, really bad. When shit hits the fan, are they there for you? When times are really good, do they have your back? Do they have your back? Are they proud of you? Are they really happy that you're doing well? Or are they secretly jealous and hating on you? I had to cut out 2 friendships this year that were 20 years long. At least 20 years, friends from high school, okay? Because I realized that. I'm like, you know what? I helped all these years my friends. I was there for them. So then I cut these people out. And the remaining friends I have, I don't know if it's weird or a coincidence. You guys can chime in if you want, the older crowd, but I've cut it down to 3 friends now. And it's weird because all 3 of these friends are like way older. They're in their 50s. I didn't really plan that. I don't know, but these are guys that are ex-business people, retired now, guys, you know, corporate guys. One guy was telling me about how he overcame his adversity with his divorce with his wife. She took half his stuff and ruined his life. Another guy had a failed business, lost a lot, a crazy amount of money, and then made it back. So, yeah, your friends specifically dictate where you go. And as humans, we are social creatures, okay? I was a hermit in my 20s. I worked my butt off with my junk removal company. I worked my butt off. And then after a certain amount of time, I'm like, okay, I got to be more social. I can't just work, go home, shower, sleep. I got to like do stuff. So I became more social, and I realized how important it was to have true friends. Not friends, true friends. Okay? And a lot of you that are watching this, I'm not saying you watching this, you specifically, but I'm saying a lot of people don't have true friends. So keep this in your memory bank. How are your friends or family doing when you're doing really well? Are they hating on you, or are they truly happy that you made it? Or when times are really, really rough, they got your back, or do they just skip out? You'll see your true colors in these conditions, okay? So, overcoming adversity, talk to your friends immediately. Your friends are going to make or break you, okay? The right friends will make you. The wrong friends will break you. Number 2, remind yourself that life is temporary, not to be hard on yourself, okay? There are some things I did that I was maybe taking too much risk when I lost a lot of money. I mean, I made it back and I lost it, made it back. It's just been back and forth, right? I'll make it back again and I'll lose it and I'll make it back. That's part of the entrepreneurial journey. So don't be hard on yourself. Take your time, and then baby steps, okay? Baby steps. Next, what else helped me through adversity? Overcoming adversity. You have to realize, if you look at all the great entrepreneurs of history, everyone's struck out really hard, right? Or even people that had health issues, right? That overcame their health issues. When you overcome and make it through hell and make it out alive, that person you become is untouchable. When you put a lot of pressure and pressure and pressure, right? And when you take that pressure off, when you have the final product, you have a diamond. All that pressure creates diamonds, right? And that's what I'm learning now at 35 years old. I'm like, wow, man, all this crazy stuff I had growing up, like growing up dad in prison, living in motels, and then making millions and then losing millions and then making it back and going on MTV and doing this and doing that and getting approached from famous people to buy my websites, and then dates with famous people and all this stuff, and like in between, and just losing 100 pounds of weight and overcoming insomnia and almost beating Lyme disease, and making a ton of money and losing my money with my business and then making it back. It's a lot of stuff, man. You know, and I talk about the first half of my life in my book, A Dark Path to Light. You can find that on Amazon. I get into the raw details. It's a heavy read, so just be cautious before you read it. It's not for everybody, but just gets in the meat and potatoes of my youth. That's a whole other crazy story. You guys can see that there. Anyways, friends, right? Overcoming adversity, you need good friends. Now, number 2, we talked about this, baby steps and not being hard on yourself, okay? Number 3, you have to also tell yourself too that with, life being temporary as well, life is also cyclical. Life comes in seasons. And I have to tell myself that, remind myself that when things aren't going as planned or if I'm going through some hard times. I'm like, this is temporary, Sometimes it seems like it's forever, but like when things were good, for me, man, it's on top of the world. Had self-made multimillionaire in my early 30s. I was like, wow, I'm crushing it, man. Business was kicking butt. I was living in a tropical country. I was working on a hammock every day on my phone. And I was like, I made it, man. And then, millions in crypto I had made and all this. So, like I said, it goes up and down. I've been on both ends multiple times. Made a lot, lost a lot. Made a lot, lost a lot. Made a lot again. Okay? So, as all this is happening, right? The other thing I want to mention too, this is very important. When I used to be obese, I never took this into effect, but I didn't realize how important it was to focus on your diet. Okay? Your diet. I try to eat as healthy as I can now. Most of my meals, I have an occasional cheat meal once in a while, but I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any drugs. Most of the food I eat comes straight from a farm. That's my diet now, and I've noticed my physical appearance has changed for the better, and I've noticed other positive side effects. Can't stress enough your health, your fitness, exercise, walking, because, I've had times too where, when shit was getting really, really bad, especially with the health, when my Lyme disease was attacking my breathing and I was having trouble breathing, I wouldn't leave my bed for days at a time. I was having neurological issues. I was completely sick. Couldn't move. I was like a zombie. I thought I was going to die. Multiple times with Lyme, I thought I was going to die. I couldn't breathe. And that was the Babesia and the Bartonella eating away at the oxygen in my body. So I felt like I was having constant air hunger all the time. Worst feeling in the world, by the way, if you feel like you're going to die from not being able to breathe. I don't know how to explain it, but if anyone that's had Lyme disease had this before, talk about it in the comments. It's horrible. But anyways, the good news is, I think after blowing $100,000 on wasted doctors, through holistic methods, I think I was able to figure out how to beat this. But I'll know for sure next week. I'm getting a Lyme check retest to see if I got rid of it. They say you can't get rid of it, but I think I got rid of it. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted on that. So, adversity from Lyme disease, adversity from family issues, right? Adversity from business issues, adversity from friend issues, adversity from business investment, all this stuff, right? And I have people telling me this, like, man, Alex, how do you do this? Like, so you don't drink at all? You're not, like, how do you handle all this stuff going on in your life? And I'm like, well, I'm wondering the same too. Because if I would sit here and be like, oh yeah, I'm Superman, I can go through it. Okay, I'm not going to lie. It was tough, okay? There's times where I was like on the floor just staring at the ceiling for hours at a time in the garage. I'm like just staring, like just trying to figure out, like I got hit by a train, like where do I even tackle first? My health. I got that to deal with. Lyme disease, MRSA happening, my business, my investments, my friends, my family. Every angle was just like crumbling, right? And I told myself this, like I have to move forward. And that's the other thing too, I want to say, this will probably be the last thing on the list of how to overcome adversity. You have to move forward regardless. You have to. You can't go backwards. You can't remind yourself of the past, okay? I know it's hard because you're going to be like, oh, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if this happened? What if? Who knows, right? What if happened? But you have to look at all these other entrepreneurs, okay? All these other people that just made it big and lost it big, or people that overcame serious health issues, overcame cancer and came back in life and dominated life, right? I'm not going to sit here and say that my life's been the worst life ever or the best, but there's people that have had it a lot worse and a lot better than me, and I feel like I'm somewhere in between, okay? With that being said, I want to hear how you guys overcame adversity. I want to know who you are, where you're from. Comment below. Like I said, this is my first YouTube video. I think the theme of this channel is going to be a combination of my thoughts on life, my thoughts on business, entrepreneurship. We're going to talk about networking. We're going to talk about modern society. It's going to be a combination of a couple things. So I would like your input as well. Like I said, I'm just a guy, 35-year-old guy that's had a lot of ups and downs, and I'm going to start putting my thoughts on video. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I would like to have your input. Let me know what you think. Comment below, and I'm looking forward to doing more videos, guys. Until next time, peace.